Over the years, I've had people mistake seeing me in places I wasn't, or behaving like they knew me, but yet I'd never met them before. I've lived in the same general area for about 30 years, and the sum of these experiences makes me think there's someone who looks and acts just like me living out their life here as well. The following are some examples. 1980s in college, living on campus, there were a few times friends would claim they saw me at one location or another, when I was not even at school that day, visiting parents, etc. I've been told, "You have a twin at this school," more than a few times. One year I had the flu pretty bad, so I went to one of those walk-in clinics. The nurse practitioner seemed surprised to see me and said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I'm sick." She brought me in and acted like we knew each other, like I was also in the medical field. She was talking to me in medical jargon, and when I indicated I didn't understand, she seemed to realize I wasn't who she thought I was. It was kind of awkward. I went to a local cafe-type restaurant with my wife and kids. We'd never been there before, but it was in our general area. As we walked in, the owner, I later discovered, noticed me and started vigorously waving hello from his station in the back by the kitchen. I had never seen this man before or been to his establishment, yet he greeted me like a guest of honor. He welcomed us and said it was nice to see us again, etc. The place was kind of busy and he definitely picked me out of the crowd. I played along, not wanting to offend him. Finally, a few years ago, my son, who was around 11 years old at the time, and I were out doing some weekend errands. We got haircuts at our local Great Clips, and he wanted to check out GameStop. We drive to the nearest location that was just outside of our town, about 15 minutes away. That store had closed and gone out of business, so I pulled up the next nearest GameStop location on my phone. It was further away by about 15 minutes, but we decided to go. This is a neighboring town that I never go to or shop in. I pull up to the GameStop and we exit the car just as a man is walking out of the shop. He looks at us and says, "Hey there, good to see you again." I look confused and pause. He realizes something is amiss and asks, "Don't you remember me? We were just talking at the barber shop across the street. Didn't you just get your hair cut?" I said we did, but not here. He looks at my son and me again and says, "No, you guys. Both of you were just across the street at the barber shop, I swear. We had a big old conversation." I responded that I wasn't there and he must have us confused with other people. We parted ways. I tend to brush these incidents aside when they happen, but when I think about them collectively, I can't help but feel there is someone who looks and acts just like me. Possibly with a family that lives in my area. We just have never met. My dad's in the military and has been since I was around 6 years old. We were pretty fortunate because we didn't have to move around as much as other families. My dad got stationed in Hawaii, so we lived there for 3 years. I really wasn't upset about leaving my friends or anything because I didn't really have any. That'll be important later. In Hawaii, I had a friend named America. That might sound like a strange name, but it never stood out to me or anything. We called her Amy. She was super sweet and we were great friends. My parents even remember her as being welcoming, and they were happy that I was able to make friends in a new environment, especially after some major traumas had happened prior that kind of fucked me up. We were really, really good friends, but I had 100% forgotten about her. Who could blame me? I was maybe 7 or 8 years old, and after 3rd grade we were split up into different 4th grade classes. But maybe late last year I had a dream about her. I don't believe it was a premonition or anything like that, because it was kind of bizarre. In the dream I was at an airport and I saw her. She looked about 15. Pretty much nothing like I remembered, but I knew it was her. I shouted, "America! Amy!" She saw me and jumped off of the escalator. No idea what happened next, because I woke up. I was like, weird, but obviously I didn't care that much. It just kind of put her back in my mind. Fast way forward to recently, I found a letter from her in my closet. It said something along the lines of, "We will miss you, have fun in your new house." And attached to it was a business card with her dad's phone number on it. He owned a small company, and for the sake of the family's privacy, I'm just going to say it was a small electrician company. I didn't remember that, but I was a child, so I probably just didn't care. but the part that stood out was that the business was based in a small town in Texas, which is where I lived prior to moving to Hawaii. This might seem crazy, which it definitely is, but I texted him. I wonder how weird that must have been for him, to have someone he probably hardly remembered ask to speak to his daughter that's about to be a high school graduate. But anyway, I texted him, we talked, and it turns out he's always lived in that tiny Texas town. Never Hawaii. I was very, very quick to brush this off as me imagining things and getting things wrong. I have DID, and my memories aren't exactly reliable, but I even asked my parents, and they both remember her living in Hawaii. They distinctly remember being thrilled that moving to a different state than where all this childhood trauma happened had somehow fixed my social life. But she was never there. Y'all are probably going to recommend looking in yearbooks, which is a great solution, but I don't have any from the years I remember knowing her. I do have one from Hawaii, and she's not in it, but that doesn't say much since it's a 5th grade yearbook, and we stopped talking after 3rd. Explanations? Like I said, I'm not just misremembering. If I posted here every time I remembered something wrong and it freaked me out, I'd have like 10,000 posts. I guess it's possible that my whole family remembers wrong, but it feels like such a specific thing for everybody to be wrong about. Okay, settle in, because there's a lot of paranormal weirdness going on at the ranch. I bought this place cheap, like 100,000 or 200,000 cheaper than I should have. It wasn't on any Google Maps, it's not in the Pizza Hut database, and I barely got it listed on Airbnb. The couple that used to live there got divorced, and the wife didn't know the first thing about anything farm-related, or how it worked, or if stuff worked. There was a noose in the feed shed though, so the potential for creepy no-sleep pasta at this place is immense. Naturally, I had to buy it. Now, I expected this place to be haunted or something. The neighbors would always tell me sometimes they heard voices in the wind coming from the house, but nobody was there for years. But this hasn't been your usual Casper and his friends situation. It's almost like there's a portal-ish thing going on. Stuff will appear and vanish and come back. Twice now, a soda can has fallen from the roof and nobody is drinking that brand. But then 2 weeks later, a guest shows up with that brand of soda. That was the start of this. This is when we knew something's up. Other stuff appeared out in the driveway too that made no sense when nobody was around. A VHS of Homeward Bound complete with the case, a single construction glove, a bottle of Perrier from 2016, which was full. It vanished when I went back to take a picture of it. Then there was stuff that would disappear and reappear. Mind you, the driveway's a good acre into the property from the road, and stuff on the porch is out of sight from there, and the road is a 70-mile-per-hour highway. A bottle of snake repellent, 20-something cardboard boxes which never came back, a gas can, and a bag of fire ant repellent. And then one day, after being here a year, I heard those voices. Like someone was right there with me, talking about something out by the porch. But now it's happening in the house too, in my bathroom. I had a bug trap near the family room, which is connected to the porch, and I caught a scorpion. Now I didn't want to waste the trap, but I don't want my guests getting the willies either, so I moved the trap to my bathroom. And then one day, the scorpion was gone. For 2 weeks it wasn't there, and I didn't know what to make of that. Then suddenly it's back on the trap. Huh? Nobody uses that bathroom except me. The guests have a separate bathroom. A couple other weird things have happened. I found a deer skull with the fur and everything on it in the middle of the large 6-acre field. But no body, and the field is barbed wired where my horses graze. A few times I'll come home to find someone has turned on the horses' water troughs, or that someone has turned off the automatic water, which is scarier because what if that happens when I'm on vacation and my horses don't have water? That was the whole point of automating it, so I can let them graze on their own. Anyway, I'm starting to have some regrets about buying this glitched ranch. Not because it's glitched, that's fascinating, but because now nobody in my family wants to live there, and buying a big place everyone could use was kind of the original point. Sometimes guests will come to the house and tell me that they can't find a front door. And this is the most bizarre thing. It's on the front of the house. Then sometimes they can't find the door handle. It's on the door. What the fuck are they looking at when they arrive? I can only wonder. As soon as I explain it to them, though, they're just as confused as if it wasn't how it was when they looked at it the first time. Now, the porch is an addition, as is the family room. So I'm wondering if it's just the remodeled parts of the house. My bathroom, too, which are affected. Maybe. Hey Scaredy Cats, thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you'll never miss out on any of the stories. If you have any stories that you'd like for me to read, you can find the links for submissions in the description below.